This is Teddy Abrokwa here on the Soundboy session, and we are live again. We are back recording conversations. This is one of my favorite artists now. I must say, he's been giving us the tunes. If you listen to my show on YFM, you would hear Goldkay quite a lot. And also, if you listen to YFM in particular, we've been supporting his music for a very long time. I think, for close to about 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years. We've been pushing that music out there. I've got some very good hits there. Particularly on my show on the Soundboy session, almost every time that anyone drops, we get the opportunity to premiere that on the show. Make sure the world gets to know of it. But it's important that we get to hear his story as well, how he got in a game, where he's at, what the future plans are, and what some of the untold stories. That's the most important part. Those artistry, untold stories, we like that. We like that quite a lot. So my guest today is no stranger to the microphone. He's told us to stop bluffing. He's given us a party mode. He's given us a lot of things to cherish. To be honest, if you like your flavor and sound. The UK, as you're all aware, has played a very pivotal part in Afrobeat movement around the world. And it's important that we bring some of these players as close to you as possible. Not just on the screen, not just on the YouTube videos, not just on the TV screens or on your phones, but also in person as well, to get to hear how they managed to get to where they are now, some of the challenges, because nothing is built in a day. As they say, Rome was not built in a day. The same way goes with music as well. You often hear the hits, but it takes them several attempts, takes them several studio recordings to get to that stage. Goldkay, ladies and gentlemen, is on the Soundboy session today. Welcome, my brother.
Hello, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. We should have done this a long time ago.
I know we've been scheduling to talk for ages, but time hasn't made that happen. But now
we're here. Yeah. Make sure. Perfect. That we get
full sound.
Just as we will get on the in the music. You have a distinct voice.
Yeah. My voice is very, very different. I say that because naturally when I talk, it's like a husk in my voice. So before, when I was young, they thought I even had speech issues as well. I did have speech issues. So, there was a process of having to go through speech therapy, but my mum didn't want anybody else to touch me. Ghanaians, they're very funny with their children. So this, I guess, voice, this in my voice is actually a natural tone of mine to my voice. Okay, so your sound in music is obviously that's how you sound in person. Yeah, so because of that sound, I've put together the genres that I enjoy doing and created a sound out of it, which I like to call Afro vibe. So naturally, I'm a singer, singer. But when I was growing up, and when I really got into music, I was very much a DJ, like yourself, playing Afro beats and dancehall. Growing up, my dad used to play a lot of the reggae and dancehall artists from back in the day. So people like Dennis Brown, Sanchez, Beres Hammond, and then you got your dancehall artists like Shabba Ranks, Peter Tosh. So all of these artists influenced the sound that I've created over time. And then obviously being born Ghanaian, it's about also adding my culture as a Ghanaian, my culture as a, if you want to call it, Brit, being raised here. But then also including or being inclusive of all the sounds that I actually enjoy doing and making it my own. Yeah, because you get that feel from it, the reggae, the dancehall, with the tone of voice, the melodies, and then obviously the Afro sound. You call yours the Afro what? The Afro vibe. Afro vibe. Yeah. And that's the reason why we have that. But
one thing is, you know, where we grew up, music was a major thing in our lives, you know. The sound system at home, you know, it's as if our parents were all in the one musical institution. You know, you get the
big Jamo 300 speakers. Yeah.
If you've never had that at home, then you probably haven't listened to the sound correctly. You know, because sometimes you make music and people just give their opinion based on listening to it from their headphones. You don't get to enjoy music from a headphone, let alone to give an opinion on it. Just play it louder, hear the kicks, hear the bass, hear the sound, you know, and then once you're able to get that groove, come back and talk to me.
Exactly. and the thing is, I feel like even for me, like back in the day, especially with dancehall, it was always the bass that made me move. So like you have bass lines like do 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 without even the drum pattern coming in. You're already moving before the drum kicks in.
And then I say to artists, you know, you don't need to send me. I don't need to listen to the whole track. Just the first 5 seconds, I'm sold. Or you know, I make up my mind just after 5 seconds, because you can tell this is going to be a good track. You know, it's like going to the record shop. You put the track on. You haven't got time to listen to the whole thing, so you just keep lifting the needle to see where the groove is. So if you don't put in the effort at the start, and artists that have DJ background, they know how to make the music, because you know somebody's going to mix it.
So you know that, okay, cool, if I make this type of tune, then it could probably mix with this or this or this.
But how do you keep the sound like fresh as possible and also different from your last one?
I feel, do you know what it is? I feel like being like, at the point of when I first started, I felt like I thought about the music too much. So it was about, all right, cool, it's about lyrics. This needs to make sense with this, and this needs to like rhyme with this, and it needs to appeal to these people, as opposed to just me doing music that I just enjoy doing. So I feel like in terms of how I keep it fresh, I stay up to date with what's actually current at the moment. And not necessarily, like, what I don't like to do is copy what's out there, because then you're just like everybody else. Like for me, how I look at it is, I know that I have a sound vocally that I can't avoid. So there's gonna be some sounds that may or may not work with my vocals already. So my vocals already make me stand out, and then on top of that, I then try to then see how that fits with a particular sound that's current at the moment, and then make it my own.
Perfect, man. And we can feel that uniqueness. But hey, how are you though? I know we got carried away with the music talk. Yeah. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just, it's been a very overwhelming time this year. Obviously for obvious reasons. For anybody that's in arts is struggling right now because of the current climate that we're in with COVID-19.
The COVID-19,
yeah. However, I do find that this time has been very, very refreshing and renewing, in that in this time I've been able to reconnect with God, like in terms of communicating, because obviously in the situation that we're in right now, we don't know when we're going to come out of it. We don't know what the situation is going to be 6 to 12 months from now. So everything is just in prayer, and I'm just asking God to just reveal certain things to me, reveal certain people to me. And he has done that this year. And I feel like this time where everything is kind of calmed down has allowed me to process a lot of the things that was going on and off camera, so that I can reshuffle, regenerate the music. And it allowed me to focus in the studio, because when you're busy, you don't really get to do a lot. If it's from this place to this place to this place to this place, when you're just busy pushing out a particular single, it doesn't give you time to be creative.
Reflect as well.
Exactly. So I feel like this time has allowed me that time to do what was necessary in order for me to take it to the next level.
So between the tracks, we're going to talk about your tracks in particular. I was actually waiting for the EP to drop, but I'm sure plans have changed because of what you've mentioned.
The thing is, there was plans for the EP to drop, but we've drawn that back now. Initially, there was a single that we did release that would have been, or we did say was on the EP.
Which one is that?
That's Like That. We did say that was on the EP. However, the plans have changed. We've reshuffled. I've been writing, and I guess because of what's happened this year and last year, it has given me a lot of material to write. I've worked with different producers. I've worked with different visionaries as well, in terms of videography, in terms of planning, and obviously with my management at the moment, we've just basically sat down and stripped everything, what was happening before. And now we're very, very clear about what we're doing. And I feel like before there wasn't really a vision into what we was trying to put out, or I was hiding myself a lot.
What do you mean hiding yourself?
I feel like I played it safe because obviously prior to music, I was somebody who the street culture and blah blah blah, very much involved in that. And I got into a situation which was pretty much life changing, which made me decide that, you know what, I'm gonna like rededicate myself to God, if if he can pattern me a certain way or sort me out a certain way. And then all of us, like, over time, I kind of, I was doing involved in the church a lot, and then I kind of lost touch with the church, because I felt like I was doing a lot of things physically, but then I wasn't getting fed myself. So it's almost like I felt like I was doing the work of God without actually getting some God myself. So I decided to kind of step back from that. But by doing that, I didn't want to offend the church with my music, because I was still doing music. I just didn't want to offend the church with my music. So I kind of played it safe with some of the words that I would say, some of the lingos I would use, but it wasn't my reality. It's almost like I was hiding what I was doing, like hiding the type of friends that I've got, hiding the type of, it's like I felt like I was putting out a clean artist to play it safe, but that wasn't me. Like, if anybody knows who I am, they know what I'm about. And I feel like the music that we've got now going forward is gonna be a true reflection. Like I'll say Like That and Your Love is, I guess, those are the, if you want to call it, the transition songs. And I'll say Party, I guess, is the reintroduction to the real me. And going forward, I'm not going to hide my behavior. I'm not going to hide my persona. I'm just going to be me, because it's easier to be me. Like,
so when you say easier to be you, I mean, the new, not the new you, I mean, I hate to use that new thing. I mean, you're still the same person, you finding your purpose, you connecting to your inner spirit, and, we experiencing how you feel, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that not be contradictory to the beliefs? I mean, if you're making party songs, or if you're making certain things,
like I believe that it's not necessarily my music that's gonna draw people to me, in the sense of it contradicting with my relationship with God, so to speak.
Yeah,
I feel like it's not necessarily separate per se, but like, whether God can see me or not, whether you can see my relationship with God or not, God sees everything. Okay. So if I'm going to try and be behind the scenes or behind closed doors, and like I'm doing things like the stuff that I do, like I drink, you know what I'm saying? I do my thing. You know what I'm saying?
You like a party.
I like, exactly.
Yeah.
I
we
like,
all like a party. That doesn't
exactly
have to define you.
Yeah. And with that, God sees that too. Do you get what I'm trying to say? He sees what I do behind closed doors. So if I'm going to hide it, God sees me anyway. Whether I put it in your face or not, God sees what I'm doing. So I know the relationship that I got with him. He knows that, not necessarily he knows that. I mean, everybody's struggling. It's not this Christian walk, or this walk of God is not a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? No. Every day you're dying to yourself. So God knows how I do it, but I don't offend people in what I do. But I feel like I was I feel like I was protecting people in what I would do. So like I wouldn't put out that I smoke, for example, because it's a taboo. Like, don't do it. You're meant to be this clean. You was in the church. You shouldn't be. But when I was in the church, guess what? I was doing it too. So right now that I'm now free, I can do it, and I don't feel no way. It's not that I don't feel no way. I don't have no regard for anybody. I'm just free now. I'm not, because I felt like I was doing it and trying to get validation from this person, or should it be like, maybe I need to do it like this, or should I be like this, or should I be this person, or should I? But it costs too much. It gets
confusing
exactly.
sometimes.
And it costs too much to be polished. Like, I'm not polished. I'm not a polished. I'm not.
This is Goldkay. This is Goldkay. So you're basically living your truth. That's what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Right now, I feel like I'm free. I've written some songs, some deep songs. I mean, there's a lot that's happened in my life that not a lot of people know about. Like, for example,
let's talk about it.
So like, even this month, I'll be celebrating 4 years of when I lost my little one. That one will be something that it's in the music now, but I hid it before. So things like that, like when when I had my car crash and almost lost my life, that's also in the music. Like, people who have tried to send for me, people who's tried to come after me, all the street beef that I've had prior to this, it's all in the music now. So what's to come is the truth, so to speak, as opposed to me just trying to be this polished Afrobeat. I mean, like, no offense to any of my brothers in Ghana. Like, Kwame Eugene is a brother to me. Like, obviously, as you know, me and him did Bluffing.
Yeah.
But me and Kwame Eugene has had two completely different lifestyles. I can't be Kwame Eugene. Kwame Eugene is Kwame Eugene because he's Kwame Eugene.
And Goldkay is Goldkay.
Exactly.
That should be that clear distinction.
It's funny because me and Kwame Eugene come from a similar lifestyle in terms of he's also somebody that has come from the church. So he also had to be careful in what he was doing. But it's like, why? Because even those who are out there I'm not trying to be careful. So why should I be careful? Like, I'm just telling my truth, whether it's something you like or not. Hey, but I just try to find a jovial way of putting it.
Yeah. But sorry about your loss, brother. Sorry about your loss. It's something that you can never forget. You know, it's not, you've got to be in it to feel how it's like. How have you managed it? You know, because you said you've hid it from the world for a long time. 4 years now. What's been your healing process?
If the truth be told, I'm still healing from it, but I feel like now, especially with what I'm about to do with the music, her life serves purpose now. Like, I'm not necessarily doing it for her per se. However, it's in tribute to her, because it wasn't too long after I released my first single, Celebrate, that
it happened.
So it's
so I mean, if you don't want to go into too much of it, that's understandable. But cool. What was it? Lost a birth or?
It's so basically it was so if I'm gonna give a little bit of light background, basically I had an operation where it was I was told that my chances of fertility was low. So it came as a surprise when I was told that I was expecting. So obviously, as you know, with the excitement and all that. But if the truth be told, I didn't accept it straight away. And if that's just me being completely honest with myself, I didn't accept it at first because obviously I've been told one thing and then you're going to tell me another thing. So there was a lot of pressure at the beginning on my side, and now I feel like that's on my side. But because of, I guess, the pressure, she didn't make it. 20th of October is when we lost her. So, yeah, it's something that I've blamed myself for, and because of that reason, it has made me more determined to succeed in this, because not that I didn't have anyone to do it for, but I feel like the choices that I made, and in the delay of making my choices, has caused me to be in certain sticky situations that I have been in my life. So because of that, I want to make amends, and this is how I plan to do it.
Have you sought help, like therapy?
I've done counselling. I did counselling for a bit, but I did find it patronising. So really and truly, how I have dealt with it is through like family, and speaking to one particular pastor who I talk to quite frequently. You know, these pastors like to call themselves spiritual fathers.
Yeah.
And then obviously my manager as well, who's helped me a lot. Well, she's my cousin as well, but my manager, who's helped me a lot through the sticky situation. And daily, like, I've actually even written a song that made me heal, or helped me heal.
What's that song? Is it out already, or
it's not out yet?
Okay.
But it's actually called Oria's Song. So that was going to be her name. And yeah, Oria's Song. How
is the music helping, or how has it helped?
I feel like music is therapeutic to me. I feel like I can. It is a tool that I use to bring people into my story without having to tell anybody my business. So you will get it when you hear it, but you don't have to necessarily understand the detail, but you'll be able to make it apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, we're here with Goldkay on the Soundboy section. Yeah. Want to take a minute? Just we keep going. Yeah, I know it's some of these things. The if you speak about them, you know, it gets you right. You're able to then put it in your music, which is fantastic. You know, at least we're able to let it out. Basically, you know, as you're able to do that, the more it helps with the healing process as well. Because the more we bottle it, the more it sets us back. You know, it tends to you tend to always overthink it. But if you're able to get some support, whether it's counseling or professional support with therapy, or even if you have someone that you can speak to about some of these things, they help with the healing process. And you know, bro, we always hear, you know, we do these things to let out this team, you know, to let out our stories. People will see this and learn from it. People will see this and be able to offer some sort of help. You know, people will see this and be like, no, you're not alone. This is what I've always been dealing with as well, you know, and this is always important that one way or the other, something comes out. You know, I tend to keep a lot too, you know, it's not easy. So I understand.
I mean, even I was like, there was even the single that was meant to be for her. I was even going to, that was going to be the next single. I would have put it out end of month, because I also understand that this month is the month of remembering like infant death and cot death and blah blah blah.
Oh,
so
is
this,
it?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
I didn't. I only found out about it last week, but so that even made me think like if I was to even just put, but then I thought people like what I'm trying to build as an artist. If I was to put that song out, not that people won't get it, but it will just be like, okay, what is he doing? And it's not even. It's still a part of my life, because the things, I don't have children right now, so it's still a part of my life that's.
But I think you, like you rightly say in the beginning, you know, you're living your truth. If you feel like you want to put it out, let's go for it, bro. You know, you just have to go for it. You know?
I think it will be something that it depends, but I think it will be something that I might just
take your time with it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to do that and then people just don't get it, because then that, like, because where it's a personal song, it's just like, yes, it's
so you're going to wait for it to drop on the EP then, you know, when there's a project to carry it with.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in terms of the actual EP, there was like we still anticipate an EP. That one goes without saying, and the EP will probably still have the same name and same detail. But in terms of, like, I feel like we're at a point where, because of all the miscommunication, because there was like, people didn't know where I was located, people didn't know where I was based here or based in Ghana. People didn't know who my friends were, so it's not like they can associate me with any type of scene, because it's not like, you know, like in Ghana you might see Kwame Eugene and he's chilling with. It feels like I'm picking on Kwame Eugene, but he's the first artist that comes to mind. So, like Kwame Eugene and like maybe Stonebwoy and King Promise, they're all chilling in one spot. So it's like you see that they're rubbing shoulders with each other. So that's almost like the click. Not that saying that it is, but just kind of like using that as an example. Where I wasn't really associated or seen with any particular artists other than Guilty. Guilty is the one that, if anybody's going to see me with anyone in the scene, is more time, is Guilty Beats, because I've known him for yonks now. Like, he's a brother to me. So if it's not that, like, it was all confusing. So
do you feel that has limited you in any way?
I feel
in terms of your reach.
Yeah, I feel like it did impact me, because Bluffing took off. But unfortunately, I wasn't in Ghana to continue to push that. And it's also not Kwame Eugene's song to push. So he also did what he could from a social media aspect to push the song. Radio DJs really got behind it. Until now, they still play the song. Even the other day, Eddie Blay put out a tweet saying that I should re-release the song because it didn't get the love that it deserved. So I do know that it is appreciated. Even yesterday, we trended in Ghana with the audio for parties. So I know that Ghana still supports us, but it's because we're not based there. It's hard to keep, you know, the Ghanaians, they like to know that they want to see you. They want to know that the artist is here or he's there, or like Shatawale lives there. And you know what I'm saying? They like that. And so right now it's like we're trying to rebuild. So it's basically almost like starting again.
But there is no harm in recalibrating or calibrating the way that is your career has been, you know, and you've sat back, you've learned from some of the moves that you felt limited you. You know, you are ready to go again, and that's the spirit that I love. You know, we're gonna get back to the music a bit, but we need to find out about Goldkay, man. You were born in Ghana.
Yes. So,
and what age did you move here?
So I was born in Jolu, Accra, but my parents are both from Kumasi.
And what's your name?
So my name is Nana K Ajekum.
Okay, so the gold is what's the gold in there for?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, Nana is a royal priesthood in Ghana. So it's like a title, so both male and female can be called Nana.
Yeah.
So all I did was just change the commodity of the meaning of the name and just changed it to gold. So the commodity of gold representing royalty, just changed that to gold and then kept the K there. And the K is actually Kofi.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, there is still some link.
Yes, and Nana Kofi Ajekum.
Nana Kofi Ajekum. And what time did you move to the UK?
So I
At
moved.
what age?
I moved when I was just 2 months old. To be honest, and see, even my movement here is another interesting story. The EP is going to be live. I can't wait for us to put it out. But basically, that one. So we came here, or I came here, on political asylum. So obviously, my parents linked to the government or the army had us, for whatever reason, had to move to London, and yeah.
Was your dad in politics, or was it in the army? Sorry.
Yeah, so he was he was in the army. He was very close to JJ Rollins. It was at the time, and then he, for whatever reason, moved to London, and we were obviously where he moved. We moved, so
of course
that's basically what it was.
2 months. I mean, so that's like pretty much being born here. You didn't really get to
pretty much.
What's your experience in in your Ghana experience? Have you been back? What's the longest you've stayed?
So basically, I actually wasn't able to travel back to Ghana till I was 12. Again, for the reasons why we had to move in the first place. And when I was able to go back, it wasn't because it was a holiday. It was because I was misbehaving.
Oh, so yeah, those scenarios where you get sent back for
exactly
for the African training.
So but the thing is, when I got sent back, my grandma, obviously, she hadn't spent much time with me. Both my grandparents, rest in peace, my granddad. When they took me in, they just couldn't punish me. Even though I was supposed to be there in punishment, they couldn't. So I remember there was a phone call that I made end of August. This was before school was about to reopen. So I got sent back a week after my birthday. My birthday's in June.
That was a nice birthday present.
It was a nice birthday present. But the thing is, my passport didn't come with me. You know what I mean? So I remember I made a phone call to my mom in the August time, just before school's about to reopen. I was like, "Mommy, I'm having so much fun. I'm not coming back, blah, 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 blah." 2 weeks later, I was on that plane back to London. She said, baby, you didn't go there to play. You have to come back. If grandma's not going to punish you, come back and let me punish you. So
let me be clear with those who are not familiar with that kind of settings. Normally, when you are misbehaving, you're a troubled child here. You get sent back to be like disciplined, basically. But what people forget is that any child that you send back, when they get home, as soon as they are there with the grandparents, they get preferential treatment.
That's it.
So it's more or less like a holiday camp for them, so you don't really get the reason why you're sent there. Doesn't really happen. It doesn't at all.
And she was hoping I would get the beatings, the old fashioned gun, where no adult, no government, no police is going to come and tell you can't beat your child. She wanted me to make sure I got the hand in, but it didn't happen that way.
But when you came back, how was your reaction to the whole thing? When you got back.
So when I was growing up, I just so happened to experience racism.
Which part of London did you?
South. So so the racism was coming from like the Eltham, Bermondsey, and I live right in the middle. So it's almost like wherever school you go to, when you used to go and play against this school, when you used to play Sunday league, Saturday league football, we experienced a lot of racism. So I remember one time, I said to my mum, like, I can't, like this, like, I don't understand why they see difference where we don't see difference. So she was like, all right, cool. When you go to Ghana, sit down with your grandma, let her educate you. So when I went to Ghana, as much as it was meant to be a punishment, well, that's what they've said. So as a birthday present, you can go to Nkrumah Memorial, you can go to
where the castle
at Elmina Castle, where you go and buy the cloths and at the markets and stuff. This was all a present.
It was a present.
It was a present, yeah. But then when I got there, like the education, like it's so mad how in the UK they like to paint a picture of Africa that's like, oh yeah, when you go to one corner somewhere, you're gonna see Kofi or one Kwame with flies all around him. He's gonna be skinny, rich, but when you go there, it's not like that.
It's all a narrative
at all. So it's like when I landed, first of all, I was like, I'm looking around like, wow, this is Ghana. That was my first. Then obviously once you get educated, so I get educated about the slave trade from Elmina Castle. You get educated about the history of like the leaders that have come and gone. People like Kwame Nkrumah and Nana Akufo-Addo's dad who came before him, Rollins and all of these people. And then you get to understand like why you do the things you do. So like culturally, we don't greet people with our left hand and stuff like that. And then things started to make sense. Like sometimes when your parents are saying these things, you think to yourself, oh, why you do? It's not like that. But then you understand why. It's more so of a discipline. As an African, we've been raised a certain way to understand the culture a certain way. We eat certain foods for a certain reason. We the language that we speak, where it derives from, and it made me understand my culture a lot more. So I moved from being a Brit to actually understanding why I am Ghanaian, not just saying it because my parents are from there, saying it because I know why I do what I do. I know why I speak the language that I speak. I know the food that I eat and why it's good for me. And it's just like the culture is just so rich.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
And you get to learn. I got to learn a lot about my identity as a person going back to Ghana. Like even just as small as why I'm meant to be in Africa, in terms of what my skin even wants. Like when I'm in Africa, I get it because my skin glows when I'm in the sun. You don't get that here. When you get back, your skin looks ashy when you go back, and that's how they even able to know that you're a foreigner. Yeah,
of course. So we're here with Goldkay on the Soundboy session. Yeah, we gain the all the sides of Goldkay. You know, I met you in Ghana the first time. Shouts to Funks. Funks invited Funks on my show, and he came with an entourage, and he happened to be one of them. I think the day before was the Mr. Easy's concert.
Yeah.
Where you performed. Was that your first show in Ghana?
Yes. So Dirty Rave, was it? Yeah, Dirty Rave was my first show in Ghana, and it was a very overwhelming experience because I didn't think for 1 second that the Ghanaians would know. Like as much as it was being played on YFM and all that kind of stuff, you don't see how it translates because you're not there. So when I came to perform, the way that I was received, it was like, oh, so it kind of even gave me more vim to continue.
No, I was there, so yeah, I saw it.
And I think I ended up taking off my top. I think I got a bit carried away and decided to...
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well because I was at the show. We were on the VIP side where the stage collapsed.
Yeah,
the Cabana, to be specific. I think there were too many people came on and then it broke
down. Yeah,
but one thing I found was the show was still going on. People were still performing because they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah,
you know, it was incredible. But yes, so you came on the show on YFM. That was my first time meeting you. That was the first time I've heard about you. Obviously, I saw you at the show. So I would say within that period was the first time. So I didn't know anything about you as an artist. Then I started getting close to the song, checking in. I came back to London and we happened to have, people in common. So we met following that. You played me music that I feel it was incredible. They're not out now. I wouldn't know why, but that would be because I know artists tends to keep producers alike. They tend to keep the best songs to themselves. I don't know if that is the thing, or they're always waiting for the right time. But as a DJ, when I hear these tunes, I want it out as soon as possible
so you can play it.
Exactly. We just want it out. But what I'm trying to build on is I didn't know anything about you as an artist, and it's good that we've gone some of the story that the main reason you've been keeping yourself to yourself. But how did you get into music?
So I've always been into music. So when I was growing up, obviously, as I was saying before, my mom and dad very much listened to music a lot. Like my mom was very much a Joe, Boys to Men. I guess that's where I kind of developed my own vocals, so to speak, like to learn how to teach myself how to sing. But then again, growing up, I had my older brother who was he used to MC, used to rap.
What's the name?
My older brother. Oh, Maita. Yeah, he used to MC back in the day. Like he used to have his own squad and doing those dubs and stuff like that. So I used to follow him around. And that's how I used to I got into it. Then I picked up DJing. So before I wasn't really a confident person.
You remember the year?
When he was doing music.
No, when you go active in it.
Oh, when I got active in the DJing, I would say it was 2007.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 2007 when I started DJing. I was like young, like touring up on the college scene, college, and then some people helped me to get onto the uni scene and play on the uni scene. But then obviously things started to slow down. My mum was not too keen on me doing music because she's like, go to school. So it was a thing of, all right, cool, I'm going to do this for her. And then when I'm done, then I'll do my music. So I stopped DJing for a bit. Well, I stopped DJing completely, to be fair. But, then I completed my degree at Kingston University. Then when I was done, my mum said she's not done.
Go get a PhD.
And I even said to her, what am I doing with that? No, I was trying to be... But it's not to say that having a PhD is nonsense. If you got your PhD, congrats, salute to you. But I did go to America to do my master's in international business practices. Then when I was done, I started working for UBS, the bank, the investment bank. Yeah. I was working for them in New York, and then I moved from the New York office to the London office.
What year was this?
2014 is when I flew out to America to go and do. I completed my master's in 2015, and then moved back to London and got a job at UBS, the London office.
Are you still practicing there? Or?
So, I still dabble in project management from time to time, obviously, especially now that, we're in COVID. What's that? The MP, Shuka, I forgot his name, but he advised all those in the arts to pick up a trade and get a job because it come like there's not going to be any shows. So
that was BS, man.
I've taken his advice. I've gone and picked up I still dabble in the project management to get some small change. However, I am doing this music thing full time.
But just to reflect on what he said, that artists should retrain in a trade, sort of. Fine, you have you had a professional background before this, but what did you make of it? I mean, you separating yourself from it.
No, I'm not like I'm separating myself from what he said. I understand what he has said. However, I feel like he has also mocked the artistry of the artists and I feel like even that's the reason why a lot of artists fall out with people in general, because a lot of people, like, unless the perception is, and I don't even think is intentional, but the perception is if you haven't blown, like if you're not like the biggest, like if you're not trending or blah blah blah, or if you're not verified or anything like that, anytime you send out your music to people when you're on the come up, they just see it as you doing music as a hobby. So in the same light, I feel like that MP has seen it as, oh, you artists who, okay, hobby's done now. You can't turn your passion into your profession anymore because the current circumstances won't even allow you to do that. So pick up a trade. And it's almost like they don't rate what it is that we do as artists in terms of our craft, because he's also aware that we need the live in order to make money. We need to be out here performing at bars and all of that kind of stuff to get our music out. So you've just basically mocked, even just by saying that, forget the musicians in the UK, you've just mocked every musician worldwide, anybody in the arts worldwide, that if you are in the arts, pick up a trade and go and get a job. Because then the flip side of that argument as well is that he's almost like saying, all right, cool, put your music to one side, go and get a job so you can help the economy grow, or help the economy back up by picking up a job, because half of these laws and legislations that's in at the moment doesn't even make sense anyway.
So this is the UK Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, that's the name.
Yeah, that's his name. Suggests
musicians should retrain to find new jobs in pandemic. I found that quite disrespectful. I mean, it's not a solution. And this is an industry that is bringing in a lot of money. Streams have gone up, actually. My last episode, we had an entertainment lawyer who was talking about how the music industry, within this period, the streams have gone up. If you look at the graph, it's really up there. So for you to say something like that, I found it very, very patronizing, one. And secondly, you, like you rightly said, you're mocking people. You're just, it's like you don't really give a damn about what.
Yeah,
but
the thing is, I feel like somebody like him who's made that comment is probably somebody who doesn't actually understand how the music game works. Like, I think he feels like people are still buying music from HMV, or people are still queuing up at, I don't know, as one record shop or another. Like right now, there's some artists that don't even do performances before lockdown. They are there's actually digital artists out there who just do everything digitally. So for him to say that it is a mockery. Like I'm just fortunate enough to have what I have in it, like as background to fall back on. But that's not to dismiss anybody who hasn't got anything to fall back on. It's for me, I'm just fortunate, and you know what I mean. But it is difficult, even for me. Even though I have got something to fall back on, that's not what I do. I am an artist. I'm a musician, just like all the other musicians and artists out there. So the same way that they're being affected, I mean, yeah, as much as I might be getting a second stream of income, that doesn't help my music, bro.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So my presence in terms of people knowing who I am or what I'm doing, I need to be out there.
Of course. And the majority of the income is through touring and being on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here with Goldkay on the Soundboy session. One thing is you did in January. This is just reflecting on you were involved with the BBC Two's The Choir Show, and you helped coach inmates at Aylesbury Young Offenders Institution. How did that come about?
So this same, if you want to call him spiritual father, he's like a brother to me actually. Big up Bobby Bevell. He actually brought me onto the program. So he is a lay preacher, pastor, who I've known from before he became a pastor. So he was actually a friend before he got ordained as a minister of the gospel. So he knows what I do behind cloud. He knows me fully, so it's nothing that I've hidden. And he was like, there's a program that I know that you'd be very good at because of your background, because of what I know that you've experienced and been through in the past. So he was like, we're going to Aylesbury Prison to work with prisoners to create music. And I was like, that's interesting. What kind of people are we dealing with? And he goes, it's a youth offenders. Like they're between the ages of 17 and 21. And I said, whoa. So it was deep. Like, I can't lie, I learned a lot for myself being there. However, it is a very, very sad. It was very, very sad to see that there's a lot of youth in there who, for one moment of madness, aspire to be musicians. Some of them very, very, very good, like in terms of like lyrical content, the things that they're writing, delivery, blah, blah, blah. But they've got 35 years. And it's like, they are in there.
35 years?
Yeah, they're in there planning what they're going to do in 35 years' time. Like, they're like, yeah, when I come out. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know what? I can't, like you have to hold on to that. What else are you going to do? But then obviously it was in the mistake that you made, that one moment of madness that caused you to be in the situation in the first place.
But that's what optimism is about then, you know. It
is. And it made me see that, you know what, like in life, like, and my mum always says it, like think, like really think before you act, because that one moment that you mess up, you say something silly or you do something, can be to your complete detriment. And a lot of these kids are regretting what they did. Like, you got the ones that play it hard, but those are the ones that's got like 2 years, 3 years. But then the ones that's got like 30, 35 years, 40 years. And imagine at 17 years old, you're being told you got 40 years in jail. And that's not 40 years you do half the time. It's you're doing 40 years and then we'll consider your position afterwards. And it's sad. It's like, wow, like I'm nowhere near that age. But it's like, what would that even, like I've been around long enough to know that I've lived a long life and I'm not even near that age. So imagine that, 40 years.
So what was the outcome? Did you manage to record something?
Yeah, we managed to, so we managed to turn them into almost like a mini choir. So there was rap involved, there was singing involved, but there was a lot of people in there that obviously, because of their hard image, so to speak, they wouldn't admit doing certain things. Like, out of the 10 that I think we worked with, 7 of them sing, 3 of them rap, but they can't, I don't know, it's almost like singing, it's not cool. So they wouldn't do it. But if you put, but like, obviously we did a couple of days with them, and
being in a choir is soft.
Yeah. Like singing is soft. Like for the streets, it's like, like a sweet boy, like a sweet boy. It's dead. But how they put themselves, like you put them in one room and you just reel to them, especially when you know where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. Maybe you haven't experienced jail the way that they're gonna experience jail, but in terms of, you understand what the street demands in terms of image and blah, blah, blah. So you can't be seen a certain way. But you put them in the room and you start hearing some of these boys' stories and stuff like that. It was actually overwhelming to see what we were able to produce. A lot of people came out their shell. There was one guy that couldn't get his lyrics right, so he just spazzed out and walked out. But then on the time of the performance, like the rest of the boys, and obviously these guys are from a certain wing, but they don't get on. But by the end of it, everybody was just like, you would never think that these were the same guys that we met right at the beginning. Because obviously we said to them, like, you guys might as well get on with each other. I mean, you're going to be here. Like, what are you going to do? Fight each other till you leave? It don't make no sense. So, yeah, man, it was good. A good experience for me. It was overwhelming for me. Some emotional parts, especially when you hear a next story. Yeah. And you just think to yourself, you're 17, bro. Why?
That's a tough one. So Goldkay here on the Soundboy session. We've talked about, your upbringing as well, how you've got yourself in the music industry. You did Britain Got Talent.
Yeah, so
that was an interesting one. This was where 2013.
So Britain's Got Talent again. So, like, shout out to the GSI. Like, anybody that's in GSI or anybody that's around me in the church.
What's GSI?
So GSI is a choir. They're called Gospel Singers Incognito. A lot of them are now in what they call the Kingdom Choir now. Some of them are in other choirs. But we're all friends from different churches of the same. Actually, no, we're not from the same denomination, but the majority of us are from, Seventh-day Adventist Pentecostal background. And we were just all in a room one day. I think it was after church. All of us just went back to someone's house just to chill, talk about church, talk about blah, blah, blah. And then someone just hit up a song, like just broke into song. We just, obviously, everybody here singing, so we just thinking. We were just like, why don't we just sign up to Britain's Got Talent? Like, it wasn't even a... it was just like, why don't we just sign up to Britain's Got Talent? Like, what was it? And then the rest is history. So it wasn't even like it was planned like that. However, I will say that the way that Britain's Got Talent was set up, I didn't really feel that, because we had our own agenda, but they will always listen to what you've got to say. That's not to slander Britain's Got Talent, but this is the real. Like, they will come and say, yeah, we like your idea, but have you tried this? And obviously there was one song that we knew we were going to get slandered for. We didn't want to do it, but it come like if we didn't do it, then our position on the show was compromised. So it's almost like we were kind of had our arms twisted. So we ended up
So is it controlled?
I don't want to say it's controlled, but I'm just going to say that it's their show. I think that's the most safest way to put it. That it's their show, you know, and they know how they want to do their show. So, you know, it's their show.
But on a serious note as well, we've had Misha B, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
So she detailed her experiences with our talent show to talk about the bullying and the racism.
Oh, okay,
stuff that she experienced on the X Factor.
Even you saying Misha B just highlights exactly what it is. It's their show. So, like, without even seeing the lineup, behind the scenes, they know their lineup. Everybody else is just, I guess, fillers, so to speak. But that's not to say that the show isn't genuine.
But you got far though.
So we got to the semi-finals. We got to the semi-finals, which was overwhelming. Obviously, we were the first choir period to get that far, and then again on top of that, the first gospel choir to get that far. So it was overwhelming. But I feel like it was from that experience that made me look at the whole aesthetics of like stage show, showmanship, crowd interaction, all of that kind of stuff. That made me say, you know what, I've been in the background for too long. Like when I say background, as in like I've been in doing backing vocals and songwriting and all of this stuff. I need to snap out of that now. I need to do it for myself.
For yourself, yeah. Talk about the music. But one more thing before we focus on the music, and you also did one of my favorite shows, you know, is Come Dine With Me.
You know what? Come Dine With Me was actually funny because
I didn't see your episode. Is it online that weekend?
It is. It's on Channel 4. It's on Channel 4. So basically it was Gina Yashere, Three Non-Blondes. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah, of course, the comedian.
Yes, yeah. So she did a raw foods episode for Christmas. She did a raw foods episode for Christmas. And
how long ago was that?
This would have been about, I'll say 6 years ago, I think. She did a Christmas episode with other comedians and she did raw food. So we actually came in as the entertainment. So there was like 6 of us and we came to sing a couple Christmas carols for her house. But that's what it was.
Oh, okay, so that was your involvement.
That was my involvement in
all right, because I thought...
you thought I was a celebrity?
No, like you were on there. You know, they do Come Down With Me with like...
You know, but we actually got a lot of telly time in that episode, considering they don't usually give much time for the entertainment, but we actually got a lot of TV time that it actually influenced post bookings from that. I think it was from that booking that we did one of what do you call it? Weddings? Jordan? What's her? Katie Price. Jordan's weddings.
Oh, you did Katie Price wedding?
I've sang at 2 of them. But that'll be for another show.
Sorry, Katie. The way you said it, you've done 2 of her weddings.
Yeah, we sang at 2 of them, but
I think she's had a few. Yeah, to be fair to her, she's had a few.
There's some people that can't even get married. So
and she's had 2. So you must be very good. You know, you've gone twice
as a vocalist.
Oh, Goldkay.
Now, do you know what the thing is? It was so funny. It was funny. When she saw us the second time, she was just like,
"How did you get the first booking in the first place?"
So the first booking came via the
Come Down With Me.
The Come Down With Me. So it was just like, she was just like, the second time she saw, she was just like, I know what it looks like. And I was just thinking in my head,
is that what she said?
I was just trying to get paid, you know. I'm just here to get paid. I'm just here to get the check. So, but yeah, no, she's cool though. She's actually really, really cool. She's a good singer as well.
So what was the experience like?
One thing that I will say, with regards to Imroth 4 is that they're very on time, very organized. That's the difference I've experienced in terms of doing that type of gig with any of my other gigs. But yeah, they're very, very, obviously when you're working corporate gigs, it's very, very professional to the T. They pick you up from home, take you, it was nice, but yeah, no, I can't, it's hard to manage a group. It's hard to be, because obviously you're managing multiple lives, multiple schedules, it's just easy to just, when I get up, I go do my thing.
So now, the focus is on you. Do you still do the choir stuff?
So there's times where I get emails to help with vocal arrangements. So I might send a couple songs to do the vocal arrangement for the choir or choirs for like live shows or whatever. So I might just do that because we have a studio at the house, so I do most things there. I've done some songwriting as well for like games, like EA Sports, those things. But in terms of Goldkay, I feel like that's where the refocus has come back into now, because I feel like I had a lot of my hands in quite a few projects and pies, and I was focused on a lot of collabos. As you can see, when you look at the songs that I've released prior, a lot of it was features with other Ghanaian artists, but right now I feel like we're just focused on letting people know who Goldkay is first, and then we can start mixing it up again. So,
as I mentioned earlier, you got to find out that, we have people in common when we go back to London. Yeah, you mentioned your management has changed. What has been the transition like for you?
At first it was, well, I wouldn't say challenging. I'll just say it was because before I was, I guess, used to somebody managing everything, knowing everything. But it got to a point where I kind of wanted to understand the business myself. So this particular time gave me an opportunity, obviously, because me and Jess is learning, relearning. We're also networking, re-networking, and understanding the business side of the music as well as the content side. So right now we're at a place where she actually doesn't, as much as I can get a little, hands-on myself, we've established a working pattern where she allows me to just focus on the content, where she, along with her team, manages the business side of it, and it helps me. It's easier for me as well to work that way, because then I can actually create. It gives me that forum to create, where I didn't really have that before. And now in this year, I've recorded more songs this year than I have since I started. So it's showing that what we're doing is a lot more productive than how I was working before. That's not to say, or that's not to discredit the management prior. Like big shout out to the management prior, GMG. However, obviously things have we've changed things around. We've moved things around, and I understand that life takes over as well. So yeah, obviously.
So what's the relationship like? Was it on bad terms? Or?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad terms. I wouldn't say it's good terms particularly, but I wouldn't say it's bad terms. I feel like we've said what we needed to say to each other. We've just pretty much left it there. I don't think there was as far as I'm aware, on my side, there's no malice. On my side, there's no thing. I'll always hail them up. They got me my first award.
So this was for the Ghana Music Award.
Yeah, so 2018, they got me my first award. They got me the shows that I was on, the Afrocellas and the Detty Raves. So and even my support with Mr. Easy in the UK, Camden, they secured that as well. So I can never discredit what they've done. They really, really, really helped.
Yeah, I was at that show as well.
Yeah. They really did help me. But as things go, there's, I guess, difference of opinion, difference of direction, and you just have to, I guess, do what you got to do what you got to do.
So Goldkay here with me on the Soundboy session. Let's talk about music, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, that's a track that I actually raised on YFM. Mm-hmm. I love that track, and I feel that I've even listened to better songs than what you already put out. I know that's a personal battle I'm going to pick up with you. I don't know why you are sitting on these records, man. Why?
Do you know what it is?
I don't get it.
Well, do you know what's so crazy? The thing is, what's so crazy is that you see the songs that you're even talking about, there has been like maybe 30 songs recorded since then. So this is like I mean, like once we're done with the
get into your hard drive, mess things up a bit, because I'm not having it.
Like, I mean, once we're done here, I can, I'm saying, give you a snippet of the new single that we got coming. But the sound is definitely me now. It's definitely is definitely changed. Like, that obviously was the trend. That was the point. And I feel like that was the whole reason why I even went with that animation, is to show people, not necessarily saying that I don't care about opinion anymore, but it's like I'm not thinking about it much anymore. I'm just
You're not overthinking it.
I'm not overthinking it. I'm just enjoying my music. And it's funny because that kind of transition period came from an interview that I watched from Bernie Mac, where he says that if you don't enjoy what you do, you're never ever gonna reap the benefits of what it is that you do. If you actually enjoy it and you be what it is that you enjoy doing, then everything else is gonna follow. So if you focus on the tangible stuff too much, then you're not gonna get what you.
Yeah, it's like you're self-limiting.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're shaping the expectation, which if it doesn't go that way, then you end up being disappointed. So it's good to live with less expectations, be free. And it builds on your creative process actually.
Exactly.
Because the more you're relaxed, the more your intuition kicks in, the more your real self kicks in, the more your creativity expands. To be honest.
Yeah.
So like that, how did that song come about?
So like that, I was actually, so I got introduced to a producer called Gams, who's based in North London, Empire Studios. So shout out Gams. And I was introduced to a young guy called CK. Shout out Seeks. And I'm telling, just before I even bring this point, this CK that I'm talking about, remember I said his name on this station first.
CK.
Yeah. And when you're ready to give him an exclusive, we can arrange that for you.
Always ready, man. Always ready. I like
one
new
for the
talents.
future. Basically, I was introduced to them, and I actually had that conversation with them. So that conversation about my sound, they were like, so Gams actually knows me from the past. So it's like, in terms of like church and stuff like that, like we've crossed paths before, and he was like, you're naturally a baritone. And you see, church has got this idea that if you can't sing unless you can sing in the sky. So it's like all the riffs and runs, singing soprano and alto. If you can't sing up there, then you're not a singer. So that's how I was used to singing. Obviously, how I got all into these sessions with Britain's Got Talent, blah, 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 because you had to sing like that. However, when I first got introduced into Afrobeats, that's how I felt like I still had to sing. So with my single Celebrate, I was still in that transition period. But when I met with Gams was just like, but bro, I know you to be a natural bass baritone. So use that. Like, don't stress yourself with the whole singing the notes and riffs and run. Because
hitting high notes.
Exactly.
You are no Mariah Carey. You are Goldkay.
He's like, bro, you don't, that's not you, bruv. Like, don't, like, switch it up. He was just like, switch it up. And also as well, the previous management, same thing. They kind of said that, in terms of my image, how I look and what is coming out of my mouth doesn't match. Not that it should, because Tyrese also doesn't look like a singer neither. But like, in terms of what I listen to, what I enjoy listening to, what I enjoy doing, if it's not dancehall, if it's not like hood rap, if it's not Afro beats, I don't listen to anything else. Oh, okay. I've got some guilty pleasures in like Anderson .Paak and you know what I'm saying?
It's still in the same box,
still in the same realm. So yeah. So that's when they were like, bro, you used to be a DJ, you used to do the Afro beats and dancehall thing. Just run with the Afro beats and dancehall thing. And obviously, like when I'm playing around talking to people and my tone anyway, when I go Ghana with the pidgin, it's all kind of the same thing. So it's like, all right, cool. And then like that came about. Captain put a hook on it.
So where's Captain? Is he UK?
So Captain is based here. He's another one that
Captain Hook.
So 2021, you'll be hearing from him as well. He's put the hook on it first, and I didn't know how to, like I was just like, oh, dancehall. So I was just like, all right, cool, thinking. That's how I actually, and it's funny because now when I record, I always do this first because that's how I remember getting it right the first time. So I'll put melody lines down like this, like when I'm done, then I'll put words to the melody lines that I've done. So when like that came and he'd recorded the hook already, I was just like, and he was just like, hey, fam, run with that. And I was like, oh yeah, is it? So since then, I was just like, all right, cool. I can be creative with my baritone, create melodies in my baritone, and still deliver it with the low tone without having to sing in the air. And if anything, going in the air is an extra. It's something that I can do when I'm even on stage as like it's almost to decorate the crowd with some small decoration. Yeah. So
I love it. I love it like that. You know, that's one of my favorite tracks. You know, the whole vibe, you know, I like music that gives you some sort of vibes, you know. I'm called Mr. Vibe, so I'm particular about vibration.
Yeah. And the thing is, all of the songs now that I've got coming, they're all bass heavy. Me, I'm a very, I like bass.
Like your new one, Party. That's bass heavy too. You know, it's one that on my drive to us recording this session, I was cruising to that. You know, you could feel that little sab in my car. You can feel that vibration, and I love it.
The vim.
So Party, what's the story? I mean, it's self-explanatory.
Yeah. So basically, like, so Party, I was away with the boys, and you know, sometimes when you do boys,
where did you go?
Rotterdam.
Oh, okay.
So it was Rotterdam Carnival. So obviously, it was just a Mandem's holiday. But some of us hadn't seen each other in ages, so you can imagine, like, we're just there catching up, blah blah blah. But we've seen that as we've caught up, like, everybody's good. Everybody's moved on from where they were before. It's like everyone is moved up a level. So we're happy about that. We're encouraged by that. But then we're also on holiday. So that's why when, like, in the verses, it talks about how we've caught up and, you know, but then, cool, we're going out now. So it's like, yeah, the man, then we roll everywhere, how we roll, everyone's rolling smooth, everyone's looking slick. And it's just basically that. And it was nice that I was able to get those boys that I'm talking about. Those are the exact same boys that were in the video. And this is now us showing people who my peoples are, what I'm about, who I am, and the type of person that I am, in terms of, like, I like to have fun, I like to fool around, I like to joke around a lot, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that because I feel like if I do, it just looks a certain way. But now I just don't care.
Just living your truth.
I'm just living my truth, man.
Goldkay here is giving us a party. The video is out. Yes,
it came out Friday, so go check it out. Yeah, go check it out.
And how's the reaction to it for you?
Do you know, I can't lie. In terms of the song, the reaction has been way bigger than we expected. In terms of the traffic that it has created so far, this is probably gonna be the song that hits our first 100K on the streaming. I mean, in terms of collectively, I've done a lot of streams, but on the one individual song, this song looks like it's gonna be the one. So
at least you can track the traction of it.
Exactly.
See where it's going.
Coming from.
Yeah. So now we're going to be getting consistent releases.
100.
Because I know for a fact, people, man, I know for a fact, because I've listened to lots of track, courtesy GMG, you know, shouts to him. Listened to lots of the tracks in the past, and man, you people are not ready. I say this casually, but you are not ready for this guy here. Okay,
man, thank you, man. I appreciate
now I'm
that.
keeping it real, you know. Keeping it real. You know, my birthday, I was expecting you to come around, you know, come have some food and chill with the boys as well.
That day, and you know what? If the truth be told, we actually planned to come. We actually called around to find out where it was. We called because we didn't even have it was difficult from where we were coming from to come. Yeah,
because I know because of the whole COVID thing, it was it was
a bit sticky. So
situation.
we was relying on the words of the advice from someone, but that advice never came. I'm assuming they were enjoying themselves too much. So
it was fun though. Yeah,
it looked it because I experienced the party from Instagram.
We just waiting for you know, whatever the new year brings, because I need to celebrate my birthday properly. COVID can't just keep hold of it like that, you know.
So cancelled everything this year.
I know, right? 2020 has been, you know, we've just cancelled. So what's the future looking like, bro? What's on the bucket list now?
So we're gonna I'm gonna release at least 2 more singles before the end of the year. There's gonna be a lot more visuals. People are gonna see me a lot more. So I think that's what was lacking before. People didn't really see me much. So they would see me on posters, they'll see little video clips here and there. But in terms of me, so my everyday today, what does Nana get up to? What does, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one really knows. So now I'm about to give them 70% of who I really am.
Fantastic, man. So you give us Bluffing, you know, you've given us like that. We have Party, you know, lots of tracks that you've worked on, and I'm particularly looking forward to the next project, you know. So definitely, are we going to get an EP before an album or straight to album mode?
What's the plan? It will definitely be an EP before the album, because I guess the album would be post the EP, if that makes sense in terms of the story. The album will be post EP, so the EP needs to come out for people to understand why there were so many gaps till now.
Of course.
So all the stories are in the audio.
A lot of it has to fill up, you know. So yes, we're here with Goldkay. Brother, where can we find you? What's your socials? So
you can find me at Goldkay Official. So that's at GOLDKAY OFFICIAL.
Goldkay Official. We'll put that on the screen too for you. And anything that we haven't covered? Or anything that you want to share with us that we haven't touched on?
I would like to share. Party. The video's out, guys. Please go check it out. Like, subscribe, and trust me, for the rest of the stuff that I've got coming out this year, you're not going to be disappointed. And yeah, this is just me. This is me now. And yeah, I just hope you take it in, take me in. And my website has just been launched. I haven't actually officially announced it yet. So exclusively, you got the exclusive. Goldkaymusic.com is ready, is out now. So please go like, share, subscribe, so that we can continually give you updates on what we have coming pre and post. Well, I say post, but we don't even know what post-COVID means.
We're just taking one day at a time.
One day at a time.
So any artists that you'd love to work with that you haven't already? Who's your dream feature? I ask this question a lot.
My dream feature, Anderson .Paak.
Actually, that would be sick, you know.
And the thing is, I feel like if we were able to amalgamate both my sound and his sound to create a sound as a single, whoa. Because the thing is, Anderson .Paak just released a song with Busta Rhymes, yeah? That song is mad. And I can just kind of see how me and him would kind of do our thing. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, because he was on Nas's album as well, you know. The incredible artist, man. Incredible.
He's
incredible. You know, he's the man. So yeah, that's actually one I can see, you know.
Anderson .Paak Goldkay.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yo, my brother, good to see you.
Yeah,
and
too,
you know, good to see you in a space where you're enjoying yourself. You know, you're letting the music, out as it's supposed to. You know, we are feeling that vibe, and keep blessing us with the hits. You know, and thanks for coming through too. You know,
thank you.
I'm sure once the EP is out, we'll be able to sit down and have a review of things. You know. You're always welcome. Door is always opened. You know.
Thank you very much for having me.
Once family, always family. That's the vibe that we keep. So yeah, we only wish you the best, bro.
Thank you very much for having me, man.
Appreciate. Goldkay on the Soundboy session. Thank you.
The Soundboy Session with Teddy Abrokwa. Real vibes, real conversations. Visit the website, thesoundboysession.com. Follow on all socials at The Soundboy Session.